Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sports Corner with the Conn Man on the Sports Wave Network. I'm here with my co-host, my great co-host, Mike Samuel, and we're waiting on our special guest, Chops Turner. But in the meantime, Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today? 2 days in a row for us.
I know. And we got another one on Friday.
I
So
know. The precedent setting for us. I like that.
I think so. And as I said before, I would not have another co-host like you. So I'm impressed with that. We're just waiting for my special guest Chops to come on.
Mhm.
But prior to him coming on, is there anything you want to talk about?
We can talk some basketball if you'd like. We can talk some football, whatever you'd like to talk about. I'd like to start talking about, you know me, I'm sort of stuck on the business side of things. And I'm very intrigued about what's happening. I just sent some things out just recently about some of the streaming options that are going to take place. And you and I think Cool talked about this way back when about what's happening with Disney, what's happening with ESPN, and how they were actually going to manage that.
Hmm?
So now these franchises, in particularly Phoenix, right? They've taken on the WNBA stream and also the NBA stream, right? So they're actually going to be doing that and offering that to their fans. And I know there's more development coming from all of that, but that's very interesting to me to see how the chess pieces are being moved around that board over. You start slicing up the pie, right? As far as how you're going to do this and how you're going to make it more valuable to your fans. And that's really the big takeaway, right? Because everyone's going after you and I to figure out, okay, where am I going to dedicate my dollars? Where am I going to dedicate my time? So it's pretty cool.
And you know something? I agree with you 100%. Now, we had a pretty good guest yesterday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
What would you take on Mr. Rick Reese?
I mentioned yesterday, I've known Rick virtually a little bit. I think his message is on point. I did follow up on the pie piece that we were talking about at the end of the podcast, as far as that performance and where you're spending your energies, and it is very, very interesting. It sort of reminds me of sort of my management skills that I was taught way back when. Not to go long on this and get into too many details, but the Six Sigma side of things, as far as what you're trying to do is within that methodology, it's process improvement. And there's all these different steps you go through, and you go through courses, Mike, and projects and all this other stuff. And that's sort of where I come from, right? I sort of come from that engineering side of things, as far as how you re-engineer something. And Pi sort of goes into that, right? As far as how to get the most out of your own platform and how you motivate yourself. So I found the conversation very, very useful for me. I hope people that watch this could take something away from that. And I hope that happens with us all the time, that they take something away from the guests that we have. And you know me, I do deep dives on some things after we're done or before we start. So that's sort of a little bit of my obsessive side of things. But I do think, based on what we were talking with Rick yesterday, I do think it begs another conversation, because I know we could have gone for another hour on some of this. And so Rick's a good guy, and I think he's got great ideas, and I think his success rate could actually create some opportunities for some others, people around us, younger people, whoever is interested in that kind of thing, in really trying to strategize their life and for their future.
And Mike, you know about Rick? He is the epitome of what paying forward, giving it back, and he's coming through the forefront. 2025, the people of New Bedford will be so honored and privileged to see what is going to transpire. Meaning by that, jobs, security, and also the embellishment of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just that guy. And, I'm glad you was able to talk with him. And I love that guy, man. He's one of a kind, and he's gonna make something happen. And he didn't forget where he came from. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you as well. I don't like Key right now. All cool. Dante right now. I'm gonna keep it real because they challenge me too much. Anyway, let's get back to our show.
But Michael, that's all part of it, right? I mean, that's all part of your life, and it's all part of your day, right? That's sort of how I live and where I sort of I want to be.
Guess who comes on the show right now? Folks, for those who don't know, this is one of my best friends in the world.
Thank you.
Great world-class entertainer. What's going on, my brother?
Brother Mike. What's up, brother? How you guys doing, man?
I'm doing better now.
Hey, man. I'm glad I could be a part of it, man. What a wonderful blessing.
You know something? Y'all a wonderful blessing because let me keep it real with you and Chops.
Yes, sir.
You know I go back a long. I've been around.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I've been around a lot of celebrities, a lot of everybody and anybody. As you know, like you two.
No, not the name, not the.
When it comes across individuals, when they say a certain name, only certain names. I can't talk.
I never seen Mike so speechless.
Because I am. I talked to my coach Mike Samuel, and I said,
"Yes, sir. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Chops, nice meeting you.
You too, my man.
To the community, what you've done for me, and back in the day when B Mags and I started the first podcast, so to speak, down at the Kilbourne. Guess who came down? You. In all my other networks, guess who came on? You. So before I go into what else you did, I'm glad you came on the show, and I want folks to know that you are a world-class entertainer. Chops, I'm gonna get you. I want the viewers to know what was your grind because people think it's so easy.
Man,
I compare sports with entertainment.
That's right.
Want to be athletes want to be entertainers.
Right.
And before I go into how we met and all that, I want to know about you.
Well, you know, me, I started out real young, Mike, you know that, as we all did, humble beginnings and watching it, James Brown, Jackson 5, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, Fred Astaire, all the great ones, man. And most people don't know that I come from that era, man. That time when the real entertainers, man, that was real entertainment, man. And I wanted to be like those guys, and thank God that I was able to develop myself into a great entertainer, man. I still work hard to this day to keep it going, Mike, and to be the best that I can be, because I never lost insight, even though I've almost been at it almost 50 years, you know. So like an athlete, man, a great athlete never, like Michael Jordan. My favorite player, one of your favorite players, is Dr. J. You know, he that killer instinct, man. I still have that because I'm an ex-football player. You know, I'm a Ronnie Lott kind of guy. You know, I'm a Jack Tatum type of guy. You know. I was Lester Hayes kind of guy. You know, I was one of those guys that. And I have to be honest to take your head off. That's what I want. I have to be honest with you. I want to be honest, you know. And I was that kind of football player, even though I'm humble and grateful and thankful. So I liken that unto music, man. I'm out there to give it my best all the time. If they're looking for someone to give less, then you got the wrong guy. You know, because in order to be successful in this music business, you got to have that burning desire. And I heard your guy talk last night, man. What a great inspiration he was to me. You know, you got to understand your purpose. And my purpose is to be a great entertainer, man. You know, and it's given by God. You know, only God can give you that. You know, that burning desire, and having some type of spirituality as you elevate in your career. You know, and in life in general. You know.
And Chuck, this is my new network. Even though I'm on my network, I'm on a new network right now, and I'm so proud to be on this network. I want the folks and viewers to know, how did it all begin?
Like I said, Mike, way back, you know, back then, I'm 63, not afraid to say it. And my grandma, they used to have parties and stuff, and I used to sing. And you know, you have parties at your house. You know, back in the day, you know, you could have house parties that my grandmother used to have, and I used to sing at the parties. Man, they used to throw dollars and stuff, you know, and that kind of encouraged me to be a entertainer, man. So that was my beginning. And like I said, watching the Jackson 5, and people don't know this. What really inspired me, and I tell them to this day, was the Tavares I saw open for the Jackson 5 at the Providence Civic Center. That really, I said, man, these guys are from New Bedford and Providence and Fox Point and Boston. I said, man, that really inspired me, man. And to this day, I tell them guys the same thing. I tell Victor, I work with Victor and Butch, and I tell Chubby too. I tell them guys, man, they inspired me. You know, and that's what gave me that spark, you know, to want to be successful in the music business.
Now, Chop, before I go into it, you know how we're going to go into it.
Hey, Mike, you all right, man? Mike, all right over there, man?
Hey, Chuck, I'm going to keep it emotional. That's how I roll. I'm going to my guest, my co-host, my man, Mike Samuel.
Yeah, I was talking about my man, Mike. Yeah, I said he ready to.
Hey, he's that guy. He keeps me in check.
That's so good. That's good. That's good.
So it feels
about right now.
Yeah, so it feels like sometimes I'm like Michael's shadow sometimes, where I have to keep tapping him on the shoulder about what are you doing? I'm perfectly okay there. That's fine. I understand. I understand the dynamics of our relationship, and we're fine.
Right.
So you're talking about your beginnings, right? So just a quick reference to my history to some of this, right? So my dad, who Mike knows, you know,
yes,
and my grandfather, way back when, sort of introduced me to music, just like everybody else, right? You're talking about house parties and all this other stuff. So my grandfather was very much into jazz, big band music. So there was always music like us, right? There's always
That's right.
You get acclimated to this, and it's sort of that's what follows you through your entire
life.
That's right. So when you're talking about that spark,
that's right.
Was there anyone around you that had sort of an impact to actually kind of take that spark and start to develop that? What was that like for you?
Well, you know, I you know, when I was coming up, I used to see guys, you know, who were really doing it, and I wanted to be like them locally, as I said. And my grandmother used to take me to church, man. I you know, and I used to see her sing with the choir. So I never sang in the church, but I ran around in the church. So as I sat there as a little boy, and I could hear him singing them spiritual songs in it, and lo and behold, to know that it would become a part of my life, man. I could sing gospel, and I didn't know I could sing it that good. And I also work with people who trained me to sing gospel. You know, it showed me how to, because gospel is a different way of singing. You know, you got to sing from your heart and your soul, and you know, and I had to learn that. So I sat there and listened, and they trained me, and here I am today. And that was the spark. That was the spark, man. That's the beginning of most of your great singers that are out there, especially R&B singers, you know, like the Spinners and all those guys, the Manhattan. They had the humble beginnings in the church, you know, and that's where my spark started from. And then I started singing other stuff like the Jack. No, I mean I was doing the Jackson 5 and the blues, and I heard a lot of the BB Kings and the John Lee Hookers and the Bobby Blue Blands and the Sinatras and the Bennetts, you know, Tony Bennett, and you know, that's why I'm able to, and that signature name came from a lady here in New Bedford, Susan. I can't think of her last name. I used to go to the bank to cash my check. She said, "You always come here. What do you do?" I said, "I'm a professional entertainer." She said, "Okay." This Portuguese lady, what a nice lady, man. I can't think of Sue's last name. Man, she's a beautiful person. And she said to me, I said, "Why don't you come see me one night?" So anyway, long story short, she came to the Elks to see me sing. And she said, "I got a name for you." I said, "What's that?" "World-class singer." And I've been using, I said, that's what I've been looking for. Because I didn't want to be called an R&B singer. To me, it was a cheap name, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I need something that shows a bigger picture of what I do. And so it was the world-class entertainer. So it didn't stigmatize. It didn't say you were an R&B singer or you're just this singer that sings one type of music. You can sing all types of music. So I sing it all. And I continue to work at it right here in my house every day to try to implement new styles to my music and singing different types of music. That way, you got people out there that likes rock and roll. You got people that like classical. You got people that like opera. You got people that like different forms of music. So I want to be that one to be able to display that. Who was great at that was Aretha Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the Tavares told me the same thing. Who was it? Pooch said they used to sing. What was it? Like they did that song. What's that song like they did over? That made them the big hit. The Bee Gees and all that, you know? The Bee Gees song.
Okay.
You know, that became their Grammy award. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So a great singer knows how to take something and make it, take something like that and make it a great song. Whitney Houston took that song by, what's her name? And killed it. Dolly Parton.
Yes.
If I should stay, you know, I'm just giving you a little sample. No, I ain't trying to sing, but I just want to give you, you know, that, you know, and taking it to a whole new level. So that's like an athlete. Am I right, Mike?
Absolutely.
If you're gonna be great, you gotta look at someone that's great. So
well,
you can be.
Yeah, I do think your parallel here as far as the versatility of an athlete and the versatility of an entertainer, right? Those things line up. They just do. So I think that's, you know, one of the things that Michael and I talked about a lot is about making yourself valuable, right? Not trying to pull yourself, right? And that's where it is for an athlete, if whatever sport it is, that you want to be able to. And one of the things I've told Michael in my story has been, I tried to figure out how I could never come out of a game. I didn't want to have a weakness, so my coach has no reason to take me out. So that's where you're coming from, right? You wanted to be versatile enough that if someone came to you with an opportunity and said, "Yeah, I can sing that. I can do that for you."
That's right.
You're good.
That's right.
I get it.
No, you're exactly right. You know, and then, you know, coming from where you come from, where I came from, and you're gonna face a lot of politics. How does one elevate himself above that? Be the best that he can be, you know, be the best that he can be. And like he said, the young man said, what's his name? Your man last night, he said, know your purpose, man, you know, and know your value. And then no one can take that away from you. You're gonna have some haters out there that say this, say that, but you gotta fly up, as my friend said, fly above that. You know, I'm above that and move on. And always remain humble and grateful. I'm always humble and I'm grateful to the Creator. And I try to treat people like I want to be treated. And that's the main thing, man. As you go up, the further you go up, the more humble you become. And that's what I think keeps you grounded.
Sure.
You know, as a human being and as a professional.
Right.
Chops. Now, the viewers don't know, but you know, I tell the people, the viewers, about your experience at the famous Apollo Theater.
Oh man.
Let them know. Let them
Let
know.
me tell you, we got two Michaels here, two Mikes. Let me tell you, man, that was my first litmus test to let me know how good I was. When I went there and I said, well, I was always indecisive about myself because I didn't know myself, you know, and I knew my ability to a certain degree. And then I went there because I had trained with Mr. Green, you know, the high-tech orchestra. Mr. Green had trained me because he's a jazz musician. So he trained my ears, you know, different chords, different jazz chords are different than, you know, what you hear, the pop music and the R&B. Jazz chords are intricate. And you got to know, man, where to go, else you're going to get lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? So I've learned that. And I had to understand that. So when I went to the Apollo, I said, this is going to be my test. And I remember my father said to me, he said, man, you ain't going there winning at the Apollo. I said, yeah. So, you know, I said, okay, we'll see. So I went to Apollo with my friend Butch Career. I got to give him credit. He's the one that told me. He's the one that opened the door for me. And I went there, man. And when I came out off the stage, I went out in the hallway. They have what do you call it? The mirror of all the great stars that were there. The Four Tops, the Temptation, Aretha Franklin, Lou Rawls, and there were some girls in the hallway. I said, what are they doing here, Butch? He said, they want your autograph. Then I knew, man. I said, okay, now you got. Look at her laugh. No, Mike, serious. I knew it. When somebody wants your autograph, that means that, you know, you have to be someone have some value of yourself, you know, value to them. So I knew I was valuable to them, and I said, wow, man, I really am good. And the people were knocked out because I at that time was trying to sing like Larry Graham, you know, because Larry Graham was hot at that time. 1 in a Million, When We Get Married. You know, Larry's, people think he's just a bass player, but no, he's a great singer, man. He can sing his tail off. Yeah. So I used that song, man. It rocked the house in Apollo Theater. I still got the write-up in one of the oldest.
What happened?
One of the oldest newspapers in black newspapers in New York called Amsterdam. So I still got the right Amsterdam newspaper. I showed them the other day, you know. So my wife calling me. Oh my God!
You better answer that because I ain't getting no trouble. You better.
That was a test for me right there. And then people don't realize they came to New Bedford about 7 years ago. I knew they were coming. I was walking by. This is no word to lie. They came to New Bedford. They were touring the Apollo cast. They were at the Zyterian Theater. I walked by and they had auditions. So I said, I'm going to go in. So I went up on stage. They said, I want to audition. I only did it because I wanted to widen my fan base because music business is a business. So I think as a business, not as a singer anymore, it's a business, you know? So I went in there, I auditioned, Mike, no word of a lie, 2 mics. And then I went home. As soon as I got in the door, I got a phone call. And I said, that must be the Apollo. It was the Apollo. Chops, you made the audition, you were in. It was me and this girl, Tommy Lopes, God rest his soul. He was a big, big inspiration. Tommy Lopes from CBN News. I got to give him a plug. My good friend, my brother. He really looked out for Chops Turner. And I can't say enough. I love Tommy. I wish he was still here. He's the one that got me to sing for the governors, Deval Patrick, the first black governor, inauguration. And boy, I sang in everything he had. He loved my song Champion. So getting back to what I was saying, he's the one who initiated the Apollo Theater thing. He did a big write-up on me. And I was one of the winners to come out of there. But this girl beat me. Her name was Karen Dougal. She sang what was that song? God Bless the Child, I think it was. She killed it, man. She did a great rendition. I sing My. So it goes by who the crowd, who's the loudest. I mean, who got the biggest applause. We were going back and forth. And then she ended up winning, and we became the best of friends. And the hurtful thing for me is that she's not singing anymore. She gave it up. I couldn't believe it. You know, some people go to the Apollo, man, and that crowd doesn't really. It can mess up your psyche because you know you go out there. It can mess up your psyche. It can mess you up because you go there thinking you're all that in a bag of chips, right? And then you go out there, and that crowd's booing you, and that guy comes up with the Sandman, comes out and boo you off the stage, and you know what I mean. It can mess you up, man. So
what you did say is they can start throwing stuff at you while you're
they get those stuff, and they got the hook too, man. Hey, Mike, I had Mike too. I had the nerve to go up there. The next time I went back as a special guest, I was on the radio station WLIB, which is interconnected with WBLS, the biggest station in the country, and did an interview on there, and that was a great thing, man, for me. That was my beginning, man, of believing in myself when I went to the Apollo, and you know that gave me my confidence, Mike, as a singer and as a performer. You know, that's what gave me my confidence today. You know, I could say that. Yeah.
Well, Chops, I gotta hit you up. You know how I am. I'm gonna try to let the viewers know how we met or how I met you.
Oh man, you remember that?
Mike, check this out. Now you know me. I'm from New Bedford, and I'm from I entertain going to social atmospheres.
That's right.
To one particular place called the Elks, and they said, Mike, this is guy named Chops Turner at the bomb shelter.
Right.
I'm like, who? Yeah, it's guy named Chops. I was like, all right, I'll go. I walked in. As I'm walking from my car to the street, I hear this voice. Is it a record? I walk in, and I hear this guy. Now, for those of you who don't know, the bomb shelter's ceiling is about maybe 6'5", over 6 feet, very small.
Yeah.
But back in the day, we used to pack the place, and I walked in, and I heard this man's voice, and I said, that's what I said,
look at Mike.
I said nothing. I said nothing. So I'm like, ooh. So I'm kidding real. So I walk in, I introduced myself, and we got on pretty good.
Oh, we
now,
did.
Folks, here's the most important thing. After I felt comfortable with him, and he felt comfortable with me.
That's right.
Now, as you may not know, I did 30 years working for the Department of Corrections.
That's right.
I ran the recreation department. And I went up to Chops. I said, Chops, you are so outstanding. Can you come and perform at the prison?
I remember that.
And Chops said, sure. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And fast forward, Chops and Mr. Green, they
Mr. Green
into the prison.
Yeah.
Into the prison. And he blew the house down. And you know something? To this day, Chops, I get upset because some of the officers were like, why are you doing it for them? I said, no, son, you're giving them 2 hours to be free. You're giving them 2 hours
for recreation.
Some may have done things wrong, some may have done things
right.
For them 2 hours, they can be free. Just like Charles, you know, I bring outside basketball teams.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Also, the fact is, them officers who are complaining, I'm helping them out because when they go back to the jail cell, they're calm and relaxed. But anyway, Chops, you did a fantastic thing. You turned it out, and you are a world-class entertainer, and you've always been there for me. And that's kind of why I wanted to do the show with you, man. You are tremendous. And we're gonna get into your folks. I know it's a sports show, and I know Chops is a San Francisco 49. We're gonna get into that. Anyway, Chops, I asked my coach Mike. This means the world to me, having you on my show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so blessed.
And there's very few people whose name mentioned that brings me to tears, and you're one. So I'm not gonna go there. We're gonna go a little further. Mike, do you want anything to add before I go on?
I do. I'm very curious about the history, where you performed. So one of the things I do like to ask people when we're on a podcast and some situations, what was the most, aside from the Apollo, which I think is really cool. Really cool. Right. So from your view, what was the most important performance, that you saw, but not by you, by somebody else, and the most important performance for you aside from the Apollo?
Well, I think, my man Mike, for me, every show, even Mike would tell you from the bomb shelter on up, there was an old saying a guy told me. He said, it takes a spark to start a fire. So the bomb shelter is where I started here in New Bedford, man. And let me tell you, man, I spread it like wildfire, didn't I, Mike? All over the South Coast, all over the place. And people knew the bomb shelter all over the world, man. You'd be surprised at people who knew the bomb shelter. And when I got my opportunity to play there, man, we knocked it out the park by the grace of God. And I never fluctuated. From that time on, from the beginning of my career, I started every show, whether there's 1 or 1,000, is like I'm at Carnegie Hall. I don't change that philosophy. Every show, everybody gets 1,000%, and I don't care if I'm sick. I've been trained how to sing when I'm sick, and when I have a cold, I know how to do all that because I was trained that way through various people in the music business, like Mr. Green. He trained me, and the gospel singer trained me. I used to say, "Why are you playing off key?" He said, "Because I want to see if you can stay on key." So you know what I mean? So and I had a cold, man. Well, I want to see if you can sing with a cold and all that, man. So I was trained that way. So if you, it's also sort of like people say, "Well, if you got a cold, how can you hit them high notes?" It's like taking a highway. If you can't take 95, take 495. You know what I mean? You still get this right. So that's the way I think when I'm out there, man. Every show is a big show. I guess had a guy call me a few minutes ago and said, "I want you to play. I met you and I got your car. Could you come play for my wife? We're having a thing at our house and small party. So how much you charge, et cetera, et cetera." And I would have gave. It's like I sing like I'm going to Carnegie Hall because that's the, how can I say, that's the satisfaction I get out of singing, man, is giving the people my best. You know what I mean? And when I'm gone and not here anymore, people would say, one thing I can say about Chops, that guy always gave his best no matter where he was or where he was at or how small it was or how he never cared, about how big the place was or how small it was. He always gave his best to the people. And that's what James Brown, I admire James Brown for. Because you never seen James Brown slack. He always gave 1,000%. 1,000%, man. That's what I respect about James Brown. You know, one of my mentors was James Brown. Because I loved his performance, man. He gave 100% all the time.
And Chubbs, I don't mean to interrupt you, but when he was, I think I was 16, I saw him at Providence Civic Center, and unfortunately, June 11th on my birthday,
Yeah,
he was performing here at the Criterion.
I was there. I was there too.
I was
there too.
And he passed away.
I was there. He had that red suit on. I was there.
And my brother was there as well, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh man,
people don't know that it was incredible. Now, Chuck, I want to go because this is my tribute to you. See, now you got me all messed up. Here we go. Okay.
Mike, you something else, Mike. Oh man,
you are. So
no.
Okay, you do the Apollo. Okay, you done with that.
Right.
All right. So you move on.
Right.
What happens then?
And then, like he said, the most thing for me was the most impossible thing, or the most incredible thing was, singing for the Red Sox, the Celtics. My friend Sonny Fernandez got me to sing there, and I had an opportunity to sing for 40,000 people and up, and singing at the national anthem. Man, one of the hardest songs to sing because it has so many different ranges. You got to know where to start and where to begin and where to end. And how to do it. So I had people don't realize. As we all went to school and we're all older, that all that stuff we did patriotic in school, Pledge Allegiance, that? My country, tears of thee. We learned. I use that as a way of training my books. You know what I mean? And talk about Sonny calling me now. so yeah. Talk about the devil, he called me now. But I that was a big challenge for me, man. Singing in front of the Red Sox, 40,000. You can't even hear yourself. 40-something thousand people. The Celtics. I sang when Larry Bird was the coach for the what was that? Larry was the coach for who? The Indiana Pacers. I never knew he was that big, man. I couldn't believe how big it was. And I had a green suit on. What's his name from the outside shooter that was on the team in Indiana? What's his name? Reggie Miller. He kept looking at me like he wanted to take me under his wings. I could see it in his eyes, and he kept looking at me. And man, it was one of the greatest things in my life when I did that, because the was unbelievable. And as I was going up the stairs, there was a young man in the front row who stopped me, and it was my sponsor's son. And I gave him a hug. I hugged him. I said, man, he said, man, Chop, you did a great job. And I gave him, I showed him a lot of love. And what happened was he told his father, I couldn't believe he did that, because he was such, most people walk right by him. Nah, I ain't that kind of guy, man. See, you think I can show you, you're the same guy, man. Be who you are, man, who God created you to be, man. I ain't gonna walk by you. I don't care how much money I got or how much prestige I get, because I wouldn't want it done to me. That's the way I look at it, no matter how big you are, I know a lot of great stars. I work with a lot of them, man. Some they got that attitude, but I said, I don't want to be like that. I'm gonna be different, I'm gonna keep my feet on the ground.
And Chuck, I can attest to that, because we know people who
oh yeah,
be so
I know
receptive.
That's right.
But you're down to earth. I know that over 40 years, you have never changed.
That's right. That's right.
You've been the same way.
That's right.
And anytime I ever ask you for something, you're there.
I'll be there for you anytime, Mike. God willing, if God gives me breath, I'll be there for you, man. And let me say this about Mike, my man. Mike number two, Mike number one, two number ones. Man, Mike, I want to thank you, man, because you always you didn't look, you always give from your heart, Mike. Casasio, and you see the value of people, and I respect you for that, man. For seeing the value in myself, to give me the award from the mayor and the city here in New Bedford. That's to me like a Grammy Award, man. That's one of the greatest feelings for me as an entertainer in my whole life, man, my whole career. And I appreciate that, man. I want to tell you right on live streaming, man, that thank you, Mike, and it really made me feel good, and it really helped my career as well, man. I thank you, man, for looking at me and seeing me as a brother, man, not as an outsider, but an insider, man, making me feel like I belong, Thank you, Mike, man. I really thank you, man. I know people won't say that to you, but I have to say that to you right here. And I would say that no matter how big I get, by the grace of God, I would say that. Thank you, Mike, because you have a great heart, no matter what they say. They say a prophet never gets his honor. He's without honor in his own home. So, people see your value outside sometimes than the ones who you grew up with and know you. They don't see the value because they're so close to you. They can't understand that, what I mean? Your being, it's your being, who you are and what you are and your value. And you see that, Mike, in other people and your own buddies. I see them, man. I see what you do, man, and I commend you, man, and I want to say thank you, Mike, for being who you are, man, and what a blessing you are to the people here in the city of New Bedford and beyond, and what a blessing you are to myself, and this is the truth.
Wow, Charles, thank you. I didn't expect all that. I didn't.
Oh yeah, man.
All that.
I have to say it, man. I have to say it.
How about me? I do what I do because it's from my heart, and you already know that. I'm lost for words right now. But
no, man, don't be lost, man, because Mike too is in his heart, man. Man, I travel all over, and I've been all over. I mean, I've been to a lot of places, but you got some people out there, man, haters, and
yes.
And you fly above them, but you recognize those who are genuine, man, and see the value of another human being, and that's you, Mike. That's you.
Yo, this is a tribute to you, not me, man.
Hey, man. I'm truly thankful at every opportunity I get, man. And you have foresaw me, man. The things you've done for me, man. I mean, Michael, how you say your last name?
Semio.
Mr. Semio, man. This guy has really saw the value of myself, and like we said, we played at the prison. Then he comes with the city of New Bedford and gives me an award and some of the people. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it, but as long as Mike saw the value, I don't care what they think, we don't care what they think, because Mike sees the value. I mean, he didn't only see it in me, he saw it in lots of people here in the city of New Bedford, man. That's an honor, man. You don't find that in people, man. The humility, and the humanity in people, man. And I don't mean to come here, but I gotta say, because I might not be here tomorrow to say it. You know what I mean?
That's
no, it's true, man, Mike. I have to say it, man.
I get no. I can't even say nothing.
And I just want to say,
to you, bro. I'm
just saying, thank you, man. Thank you. And my man, I don't even know this young man, but thank you too. Thank you too.
Mike's my guy.
I know if you're with him, I know you got to be just as good as Mike, or even on top of your game, because Mike don't hang with nobody on top of the game.
He's better than me. He's better than me.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's go back. Let's try, because I might lose. I might have to shut the show down. So I tell you, Chops, from the bottom of my heart, you know, you got my heart. I'll take a bullet for you. Case closed. And I'm thankful for the network to allow me to do, because this is a sports show.
I
But they
know.
know to try. I'm making an impact on those who may listen and learn. And it's not all about sports. It's
Right.
about life. It's about
Right.
growth. And I want to have my show to be diversified, not just basketball, not just
Right.
this.
Right. I
And my
understand.
network allows me to do that. They know I'm nuts. Oh, I'm crazy. Everybody knows. They do. I can tell you, they know I'm not, but it's from my heart. So anyway, Mike, before I really go into Chops, before I really go into him, you have anything to add?
I do. I wanted to follow up on a couple of things. Michael, let me just
Yes,
follow
sir,
up
Mike.
on the issue of what you just mentioned about, and we've talked about this privately, right? About the guests that we've had have this same theme, right? That there's
Right.
mentorship, there's giving back. So yes, the platform talks about or represents sports, but most of
Right.
our conversations are not just sports, right?
That's
It,
right. That's right.
it is about the person. It is
That's
about what
right.
they're doing really
That's right.
outside of sports, right? So
That's
sports
right.
starts the conversation, but by the time we end the podcast, we're
That's
so
right.
far away from that, right?
That's
So
right.
that's what I think is cool about what you're trying to do here, and I'm all on board for that, because I think there is interest in everyone as far as what they're about and learning
Right.
about what they're about. I think that's
Yeah.
something that we should continue to strive for. And I think for our conversations, it just sort of happens, right? It's an organic thing that just occurs in the middle of
Right.
a conversation. And
Right.
as you're getting to know someone, if you're sitting at a bar, you're sitting at a restaurant that you run into
Right.
someone you haven't seen in a while, that's those
Right.
stories, right? That's the conversations we're having with everyone
That's
that comes
right.
on board. So I think
That's right.
that's cool, right? And yes, the Sports Network
Right.
has allowed you to do that, and I think that's I pat them on the back and I praise them up and down for allowing and to create that opportunity, because I've met some people on here that I never would have known, right? I don't know
That's
Chop.
right. That's right.
I know
That's
the
right.
reputation. I've seen
Right.
him. I've seen your presence
Thank
online.
you.
But
Thank
getting
you.
to meet people outside of that, and yes, it's virtual. I'm not shaking someone's hand or giving somebody a hug, but
That's right.
fine, right? I can that'll come, right? That'll come in time, I believe.
Yeah, come and tell me. That's
Yeah.
right.
So I do want to follow up on one thing you said, Chops, about never changing your approach as far as where you're performing and how many people
That's
you're
right.
performing in front of. Michael,
That's right.
one story my dad told me when I was playing basketball was, it doesn't matter where you're playing because someone's
That's
going to
right.
see you, right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
you have to be on
That's
point,
right.
regardless
right.
of where it is. If it's some
That's right.
bubble in Chinatown in Boston that I'm playing
That's right.
pickup with, I never knew
That's
who was
right.
going to watch me, right? So
That's right.
part of my story on some of this is how I get recruited to go to different colleges wasn't
Right.
from playing in high school. It was playing
That's right.
all over the place, right? It was
That's
playing
right. That's
everywhere.
right.
And someone said, "Oh, by the way, I came to see this forward, but there's this guard over here that you might want to take a look at." That's how it happens, right? And everyone knows that, right? It's the networking that takes place in how you present those opportunities that are put in front of you and how you perform. It doesn't
That's
matter
right.
if there's two people there. It doesn't matter if you're playing
That's
on
right.
a broken rim, a broken court.
That's
You're
right.
there to play.
That's
right?
right. That's right.
That's your reputation, right? That's how people know you and
That's
how they
right,
refer
Mike.
to you. And Chop, and you know this also, that you're going to get the next job, right?
That's
how
right,
you
Mike.
get it.
Now, Mike,
That's right, Mike.
I'm going to
That's right,
interrupt you
Mike.
right now. Chops, couple things. First
Thank
of all,
you, Mike.
Chops,
You're welcome.
he's one of the very few people in this area
Yeah.
to invite to a 5-star basketball camp. That's how bad he was.
Wow. Wow. That's great.
You mentioned Dr. J, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
got the opportunity to play against
I
Dr. J.
know.
Yeah, guess who started it? His dad. His dad.
Wow.
You see where I'm coming
Wow. Yes,
from?
I
And he kept
understand.
on it. Yeah. So Mike's the guy. He knows a lot. I'm so honored to have him as my co-host. But right now we're talking about you. I'll
you
deal
know,
with Mike later. I'll deal with Mike later. I'm gonna
no, but I respect it. No, I respect that because I understand it. You know, like you said, networking and being around good people, and you have to surround yourself around good people. That's what your man was saying last night. Your purpose,
exactly.
and you know, before we get, like I said, I used to watch Marvin Bonds play, and I used to. Now you know your boy. Now I used to watch Marvin play.
Be careful.
Now,
Be
hey
careful.
Mike, no, I used to watch Marvin play. I have to say this, and when I saw him play against Charlie Johnson, the guy named Charlie Johnson, and dunk on him unmercifully, I knew he was going to the NBA. And I was there at the first game he played against the Doctor, man, at the Providence Second Center. Mike, I gotta tell a story.
I don't even know that one. I don't even know that one.
Mike, I couldn't believe it. They were going back and forth at each other, man, because I'm a Doctor fan, you know. And then I know Marvin coming from Rhode Island, you know what I mean? And I knew Marvin, you know, and I'm like saying, I was a little guy watching him play. I couldn't believe how great he was. So if I'm seeing that as a young boy, what do you think I'm gonna think of? I mean, that makes me feel like I can do the same thing.
Damn right.
You know, and you know, you see greatness, you want to be just like that greatness, you know. And I saw that, I said, man, I want to be like Marvin, man. That's how I learned how to play basketball, watching Marvin. You know.
Hey, folks, people don't know. Let me tell you a bit something about Marvin Bonds.
They can say what they want to say about Marvin, man, but Marvin was.
I'm gonna keep it real. Do me a favor. Google, look it up on anything you want.
That's right. That's right.
Marvin Bonds scored 55 points against Dr. J. I'm
Yep.
go look it up. I know. All right, I know. Go look it up. But
Yeah.
Anyway, Mike Samuel, my co-host, his dad, and a whole bunch
Nope.
of people helped him come to New Bedford High. I'm a
Wow.
young kid at 16 years old, have no clue. And one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced in my life.
Right.
And I also got opportunity against Nick Archibald, which was another one. But
Right.
Dr. J was like stands
I
out.
know.
And I wrote an
I
article
know,
about it.
man.
Mike will tell you. Mike would I made some mistakes because I was wrong. And he checked me on it. That's how I felt when I was 16 years old. But anyway, let's get back to you. The hell with me. I'm dealing with you. All right, so Chops.
Yeah.
Okay, we went to your part. We went through this thing. So now
Yeah.
let's talk about some of the songs you make. Let's talk about you doing the great show you guys do on Monday evening with the famous Paul
Oh.
Santos. We're gonna talk about that. This is your time, not mine. I'm here.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike, for giving me an opportunity. Well, Paul Santos, I knew Paul Santos for a while, and he came up to me and asked me, and I think some people probably was mad because not mad, but resent that I met. I mean, I met Paul, and he asked me to do a show with him. I said, sure, I'll do it. And he said, can you come every other week? I said, no, I come every Monday. Because I knew what it could do for me. You know,
before I interrupt you, because this is seen all over the country. So they may not know who he is. So can you?
Oh, Paul Santos is a big time lawyer here in New Bedford, right? Am I right, Mike? Big time lawyer, sportscaster, very well prestigious and renowned lawyer here in New Bedford, a good friend. Yes. And we're becoming even more grown to respect each other even more now that we become partners in doing the Paul Santos live show, and I'm sort of like the Ed McMahon kind of thing, you know, and co-host. So, and the show is growing. I mean, it's growing, man. The fan base is growing. We have a director. Me and Paul started from the bottom. Now we got director of comedy. I told him all this would come, and it came into play. He still can't believe it. You know, I can say he was a little, I had to say pessimistic, but I was always optimistic because this is my business.
Yes,
I gotta think that way, man. If I'm trying to reach the next level, of I call it not the top, but the top, but making money, because it's about economics. I heard your man talk about that yesterday.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I'm not in it for how I say it. I'm not in it for the fame and fortune. I'm in it for the fortune and fame. Because without the fortune, am I right, my man Mike?
Absolutely.
Without the fortune,
let me freestyle. Let's talk about how you perform at Tomatoes. Talk about that first.
Oh man, the Tomatoes I've been there 5 years, man. This guy is unbelievable. Mark Petrella, Italian guy. I had left the group I was with in Rhode Island, Tribeca, and we were successful for 12 years. But there was some backlash on that whole thing. I left that. As soon as I got home, I'll tell you how God works. As soon as I got home, I got a phone call from your girl, Lorraine Titello. She said, I got an opportunity for you to sing with a young lady, Colleen Marshall. Would you want to do it? And it pays this and this. I said, sure. And I've been there now for this is my 6th year. Oh. And it's unbelievable place, unbelievable clientele. The food is off the hook. And plus I knew, you got to know where you are. It's a resort area, man. You got people that go there all over the world. You got, what's the name who goes there? Bobby Orr lives down. Bobby Orr lives down in the Cape. Mm-hmm. You got your boy from the Celtics that lives down there. Is it ML Carr? I think it is. He's down there. I saw him there. He saw me there singing. He watching me, and so you got all kind of people that go there, man. Bruno Mars did a wedding down there, not last year, made for the guy that owns Motorola lives down there for $3 million. So what am I got to think I said to myself, I'm gonna stay here, man. This is where I belong. You know what I mean? And make that money. Hey, Mike, I gotta be honest with you. My man Mike up there laughing.
No, I get it. I mean,
man.
That's where you have to be, as far as
exactly, Mike.
Understanding those opportunities and
yes, sir, Mike.
Not shying away, right?
Yes, right, Mike. And then why am I going to go to Vegas and make less money when I can make more money here? This guy here, Mark Petrella, man, he's, I have to say, man, one of the best club owners I ever met, man. Pays very well. I don't have to worry about playing at New Year's. I'm there every New Year's. I don't have to worry about playing at Christmas parties. I'm there every Christmas party. I don't have to worry about playing at the weddings. I'm there for all the big functions. And it's an unbelievable opportunity for myself. And what a blessing. I have to say, I thank Lorraine Titello, because she's the one that tied me in. I have to give her the credit.
Absolutely.
I have to.
How do people know how to get there, where they're at? How can people find out if they want to go check you out?
Well, you can go on the website, Tomatoes. It's in Sandwich, Mass, over the bridge, Bourne, all the Sagamore, and exit 59, Route 130 in the plaza. It's called Tomatoes. He's got 3 businesses. He's got another one he just opened up, which is what do you call it? Mexican restaurant, which he just widened and stuff. We got entertainment there. He's opened up a new one called Nana's, where they have breakfast in the morning. So he's got a successful business down there. And for me, it's a great marketing strategy, because you got people all over the world that go there.
Now, Chops, you've been shy, but you know me, I'm off the hook. Let the folks know who you have played with or in front of or with. Let the folks hear this.
Oh man, Manhattan Stylistics, Manhattan Stylistics, Blue Magic, Ray Goodman and Brown, Cool in the Gang. My man got me to play here, open up for, I forget the name of that family group, but the Samoans. What's the name of that group back in the day? The Samoans.
Silvers?
Not the Silvers, the Samoan. Oh, I can't think of the name of them. Oh man, who else? There's many of them. I can't even think of a lot of them, man. So many of them, man. There's a whole lot of them I opened up for. Tavares, I gotta say the Tavares, the Intruders. the Persuasions. It's a thin line between love and hate. You know, I had to do it. I had to do that, man. Yeah.
One thing I want to do, because I know see why I love this guy? There's one guy that you always give props to. That's my phone. There's one guy you give props to, and I want you to recognize him because he's the one that developed New Edition.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about
yeah. Well, let me tell you, Mike, I was in this show, two mics. I was in this show 40-something years ago. Can you believe it? I was one of his winners. They made that movie, New Edition movie. I was one of the guys in that show many years ago. I'm not in the show, Hollywood Talent Night. I was one of the winners. I had JoJo Gomes from the Cape. You know her.
Yes.
She was one of my background singers. So her and Maurice are good friends. I didn't know it at the time. So I haven't heard from Maurice since it was 40 years ago, 40-something years ago. And I was in the show. I never looked back because me and Mr. Green went to work grinding, man. We went to grinding, man, trying to get our grind on and trying to get to the next level of putting up some hit records and get some Grammys. So what happened was I went to work. So I ended up having the Chops Turner original band. So we had me, Candy, you know, Candy the Rose, and her daughter. They were background singers. And you know, Candy don't want to be no background singer. So I got Candy gonna get me when I say that. Oh yeah, Candy don't want to be no background singer. So JoJo said, she was talking to Maurice, said, I work with Chops Turner. Who you been working with? He said, Chops Turner. You have him call me right away. I called him up and we reconnected, man. And then we were talking and all that, man. He couldn't believe I was still doing it after all those years. After 40 years, he said, man, he couldn't believe it. Matter of fact, he had this new kids out called an NK5. The group I was with, we would open doors for his kids, you know? So we reconnected. We put out a single called Tell Everybody It's Christmas. He put out a single on me that hit #1 on the Billboard charts, man. Most people don't know that.
Now
and we're still, now we're going to continue. We still continue. Well, even though he had a stroke, that's why you don't hear him. He had a stroke, a major stroke, but he's coming back slowly but surely. And by the grace of God, if it be the will of God for him to get back on his feet, you're going to see some great things happen, you know?
You don't know that he basically formed New Edition. And
he's the one that produced.
Am I right? He
produced New Kids on the Block, New Edition. Guess what? He also created Confunction. I didn't know that. Created Confunction.
Oh.
He created Confunction. He's also worked with Frank Sinatra. He also worked with Clyde Davis. Clyde Davis is on my page on Facebook. Clyde Davis. Oh yeah, he worked with all the top producers. And if you go on Paul Santos' thing, you see him he gave a exclusive interview about myself and why he was doing the interview for myself and Paul Santos. He gave us exclusive, man. Even in his condition, it was exclusive. I'll send it to you, Mike. Almost a teardropper, man, from what he said about because Paul was asking about his history and what he did, create New Kids on the Block, New Edition, all the groups he created, and he's been he produced a lot of people, man. It's unbelievable.
And people can go back and look at the New Edition movie. That came out.
Yes.
I'm in school.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
my wife is a big. My wife is a big New Edition fan. You know, Nicole, she's a big New Edition
fan. Hey, that's my girl. We already know that. But get back to what you do on the Paul Santos show, because that's what you do every Monday.
Every Monday we do the Paul Santos show.
Right. It's a variety show.
Yes.
Paul, he's my guy, but he
loves you, man. He loves you, man.
And he has you on the show. and I can't explain how enjoyable it is to watch you guys on Monday. And thank God y'all gonna let me go on the show and sing, because to be
We're waiting for you and Mike to come on, man. You and Mike are welcome to come on anytime. You and Mike are welcome to come on anytime, or anytime you guys want. You're welcome to come on, and you got to open an invitation. Even I'll buy you guys some meal too, so you guys come.
If I come, I'm bringing my co-host. If I come, I'm bringing my co-host.
Bring your co-host with you, man. We'd love to have him on. It'll be an honor and pleasure.
He's the best. But
he is the best. I can tell.
Find out about what you do on Monday nights.
Well, you can go online. You see it. You can see it on Facebook Live. We advertise on there. We have sponsorship now that we didn't have. One of my good friends, who's multi-millionaire, man, who's one of our big sponsors, J&J Materials. J&J Materials. We have some other people that's coming on. We have a director of comedy now that we didn't have. We have a cameraman that we didn't have, a technician. So we've come a long way, man, and the show is growing, and we're gonna keep trying to reach the next level with this. And Paul's vision is he wants to be like, Jimmy Campbell. What's his name? Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. And what's his name? David Letterman. And Johnny Costa's boy. So that's what we're trying to create. That kind of show, and no one has it in New England. So we figured that this thing will blow up.
Before we go any further, Mike, do you got anything to interject? Because I'm gonna hit Chops or something in a minute. Are you
well, aside from all the names that have been dropped here, right?
I know. I'm gonna headache too.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. But Michael, I think this kind of goes what we were talking about earlier about another conversation with Rick. I think we have to have another conversation with this gentleman also to get some more stories out and go forward. I will hold you to that invitation also. I'll hold you to on your show and dinner. I think I heard dinner included in that too.
Oh yeah, I got you, man. I got you, brother.
Hey, Mike, this guy is the best of the best. Enough said. But Chops, we gotta go because
no problem, Mike. I had a good time. I had a good laugh, man.
I'll be with you. Is there anything else you want to say that you haven't said to your wife, the people of New Bedford? This is the platform. They let me do what I want to do. So please, Chops, say whatever you want, anything you want. We got this.
I just want to say this here. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank the people here in the city of New Bedford and the South Coast. They are the best fans, man. They are the best fans. And when they love you hard, man, and deep. And you'll become family to the people here in the city of New Bedford. And I can say they've been family to me, and you've been family to me. And what a big, when people open their arms to you, man, and make you feel home. There's nothing more genuine than that, man, to feel like you're at home, man. You know what I mean? And people love you and honor you and respect your talent. There's no greater feeling than that, man. There's no greater feeling than that.
And Chops, for folks who don't know, please Google Chops' song Champion.
Oh, and, yeah, that's right.
I've gone through some trials and tribulations, and I told
you. Right. Me too.
Listen to that song. That will inspire you so much. And Chops, I'm not going to ask you to sing that. I'm not going to do that. No. But can you give us a little something? Anything you can give, a little something.
Okay. If you believe in yourself, that you're a champion, if you reach deep within, believe in yourself. No matter what people say, right? You'll make it anyway. Believe in yourself. You'll conquer all your fears. If you believe, gotta believe.
Enough said. Case, who's coming? Oh, the boss is coming on now.
Oh, the boss.
The boss is coming on now.
Oh,
What's he coming on for now? What's up, boss?
I just gotta ask a quick question. I know Mr. Turner's go fan, right? And you know I'm a Philadelphia Eagle fan, right?
uh-oh.
So
Hey, hold up now. I ain't got no fight down here.
how did you feel losing to the Browns? Like, what do you feel about that?
Oh, you mean the 49ers? Oh, man, you know, it was funny because I was in transition to going to play in Newport. I was in Newport that night, and I couldn't. They didn't get the game down there, so I was so mad. Maybe it was a blessing that I didn't see, because I would have went crazy. But I was so mad, man, because Purdy missed so many different. We had the game, you know what I mean? I thought the defense, as Mike would tell you, as a former player, a football player. I think some of these young cats, when you're winning a game and you play defense, right? They have to score on you, so you have to play the best defense you can to stop them from the opponent from getting in the end zone. That was the biggest thing. Am I right? Right, fellas? Now tell me, am I wrong? How? I mean, they're at your leisure to. That's when you play the best defense. That's the way I always thought, you know, as a defensive player, right? You got to get by me now to score now. You know what I mean? So
I think in that game, because they lost two of their offensive weapons.
Yeah, me too, offensively, right.
Yeah, I think that showed a little bit that the 49ers defense might be a little vulnerable, because they were.
I thought so too. You're right. You're exactly right.
I think those kind of things sort of matched up, where you lost two of your best offensive players.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the Browns got a little confidence, and the game changed basically on those two injuries, basically.
I agree with you. Now, defensively, you guys are both athletes. When we get a rookie in there, or some guy that's a rookie, we ain't let them score. My thing was back in the day, I don't know how you guys feel, you ain't scoring. You ain't running on me. You ain't running on me. You're gonna pay for it. If I catch you and you're a rookie, what do you do? What do you do, fellas?
I attack.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I attack.
What happened to that?
No.
What happened to that instinct, Mike? They don't have it anymore. Let me tell you something. I'd be damned if a rookie's gonna run on me. As a football player, I'm old school.
I know you are.
Without paying for it. He's gonna pay for it. He ain't gonna want to run no more. That's why Ronnie Lott was great at what Ronnie Lott was he's my mentor. Ronnie Lott, my mentor. That should tell you something.
Now, Chops, let's talk about Ronnie Lott. You remember when he played in the championship game?
Hell yeah.
He broke his finger and cut it off.
I remember that. That's a true champion.
Who does that?
Nobody does that.
That's right.
Nobody. Mike,
that's right.
Mike, nobody does that. Mike, the guy today are crybabies. You see, what's his name's all mad because he didn't get the ball. What's his name? Debo. He goes in and, man, come on, these guys are, oh man, I was so mad. They don't have any, you know, Deion Sanders said it right. I can't play it. He said, I love the game, but these kids don't love it. You gotta love it. Mike, am I right? The passion.
You know what I mean? I think these players are getting so much goddamn, so much goddamn money that they're spoiled. And
that's what it is.
What about the people who paved the way for them? And Ronnie Lott, case closed. I rest my case.
You know what Ronnie Lott said, man? Here's the thing, I think two Mikes, they don't study their opponent. I would never when you see those backs, nobody picks up the back coming to the backfield. I would cover that. I was a linebacker with a free safety. Free safety became my wielder. I would never let it. Man, I don't understand how they playing football. I don't get it. I don't get it, Mike 1 and Mike 2. I do not get it. I can't get it today. My wife gets mad. My wife sits up here, long story short. She says, man, he go crazy over it because I don't understand how to play football. I don't get it.
Not to get stuck on this, but I just read something earlier about there's no super team in the NFL this year, right?
There's none.
And to be very honest, football hasn't been great this year. There's been some really bad games to watch, and I think that goes to how the team's been put together. So that's one of the problems with the league. I think right now everyone's going to continue to watch. There's not going to have any problems with ratings and number of people watching, but the games haven't been great. They've been tough to watch. Some of them.
Yeah, they've been tough for me, man, too. Being you guys are sports guys, and I'm a sport guy. I'm a ex-football player, and I just don't. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I just say, man, these guys, they will never last in the league with Ronnie Lott. They could never play. They couldn't leave these guys, man. With Jack Tatum and those guys, they would never last.
Because they step on the field.
But I don't even know if those guys could play today the way the rules are.
No, they couldn't play. That's the truth too. That's the truth too. I couldn't play either. And you know who's like that? And you know who's like that in the 49ers? Greenlaw. You see where Greenlaw plays? He gets fined. The linebacker, that dude's mean. Greenlaw, he's one of those guys. He's one of those.
That's an old school guy, right? That's not
old school.
That's not a guy who knows how finesse the game has become, and that's
no. But what you gonna do, man? Do this what it is, man. It's what it is.
A lot of people, will debate me because I'm old school. But
me too. Me too.
Real deal.
Old school is the best school, man. You can't beat the old school. It's the best school.
I know you don't watch it. I'll show me and Mike. Old school is the best.
Old school is the best school, man. They can't beat Mike. They can't beat the old school, man. Get out. These young boys ain't got nothing for the old school. They got too much finesse, man.
And not only in sports, music as well.
Oh, music as well. Nah, man. That new music, it's all fabricated, man.
But
I like it though. Not knocking it. I like it. But the old school is the foundation. Put it that way.
Hey, there was no computer stuff.
That's right.
Voice,
that's right.
Real music, like your real voice.
You had to sing
person like 800 times. Maybe more.
You did 800 times.
And you are the real deal, Holyfield. So,
well, thank you guys. I thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I had a great time, man. This is one of the best interviews I ever had, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Mike. Love you guys, and can't wait to come down so I can buy you guys dinner. I hope I have a lot of money on me that day.
You better have. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Chops.
Thank you. God bless you, man. Nice meeting you, Mike.
You too. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mike. God bless you guys. Take care.
Great conversation tonight.
Thank you too. God bless you. Take care.
God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mike.